Welcome to another edition of the CEO Tour. We're in Fort Worth, Texas, and today we're visiting with Jenny at Mindful Mule Personal Training Studio. I'm super excited about this. I get to hear Jenny's story, and so do you. Let's go inside and see what Jenny is all about. We are at Mindful Mule Personal Training. Wow, that's an amazing name.
It's very unique.
It definitely is. So tell me where you came up with that and how did you get going?
Right. So the funny story about this is, in sixth grade when you have to look up your name in the dictionary, and you do that, and I looked up Jenny, and that is actually a female jackass. So with that, it's kind of the behind the stories of the mule part. But at the time, I suffered the loss of my father. It was a very traumatic thing. And I was just getting into the training field. And I was going through meditations. I was trying to just get through my trauma and do whatever I could. And the name Mindful Mule came together because of the female jackass part, which is hilarious because it's a great story to tell people, and tied it into mule. And the Mindful Mule just kind of went together with it.
So how did you get into training? Like, why training?
Okay. Yeah, that's a whole other story. I was definitely out of shape. I grew up being field and track, volleyball, basketball, all of that. And then I had a kiddo, and you know how that can take a toll on a woman's body. And I let myself go. I went about 215 is what I weighed at some point. And I remember having a nurse that worked at a hospital. And a year after I had my kid, she asked me when I was due. So that's when I kind of decided to get my mule in gear and work out. So I started my own. I went to a gym. I had a trainer that awesomely gave me a bunch of free sessions. I don't know, we just had this connection. And that made me fall in love with training. It kind of became something I thought, wow, I can really do this. I'm passionate about this. I'm losing the weight. And so I maintained it. And then I got my certification and I started working in-home and travel training a little bit. And then I started at a gym, and that's when my dad passed away and I kind of had to drop everything. And I started Mindful Mule from scratch. I had no clients. I just found this location, fell in love with it, and decided to just go all in.
And speaking of software, so you were coming from another software.
I was.
Just like many are.
Can you say that word?
Yeah, we could say the word. Yeah, we all know who we're talking about, right?
It is. We don't have to say anything.
Tell me a little bit about that. What brought you to Wellness Living?
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, like I said, when I started to grow my clientele, you get to that point where you're like, okay, I need some help. And I know that MindBody kind of popped up because it pops up everywhere. And they had a little intro rate, so I tried them out. And it wasn't fitting with what I was looking for. It was too hard to make tiny changes. It was constantly calling them and trying to fix things. And I finally had it. And it was just kind of like, why am I even doing this if it doesn't work for my business? So I started to search around and I found Wellness Living, and I really researched it. I mean, I called all of them. The ease of use, it was kind of the setup and everything. They sold me on it right away. It was a very simple software. I liked the rewards for some reason. I haven't really utilized them yet because I've been trying to, I know, I don't know why. Because I've been trying to figure out the rewards, what do they get once they hit. I'm being too picky on that.
Yeah. And tell me about the transition, because I know a lot of businesses out there are kind of like, oh, I'm in MindBody. I got so much data. I've been with them for years. How is this whole transition gonna go?
Everything was transferred. There was no problem with the transition. I could find all of my data. I could pull my reports. I didn't have any problem with the transfer.
Yeah.
And the team were really helpful.
Jenny, thank you so much. This was amazing. I had such a wonderful time here. You're incredible. And I know you took me to a little training session, but I was kind of done.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you are in Fort Worth, Texas, you have got to see Jenny. Mindful Mule, personal training, amazing place. Check it out and make sure that you keep watching. The CEO Tour is coming to your city.